tranquility, things we all desire. But that's not why you're here. So, shall we begin?
India, India, ain't no country windier. Dating is much riskier when playing Tinder in India. India, India, our journey wasn't so linear. We drove past dead cows and pooping people. We nearly met the Grim Reaper.
Rickshaw Run Pirates Edition!
Everyone, so we are on, what day are we on, Joe?
46.
46, are you sure?
Yeah.
We only started I'm pretty sure 9 days ago.
Yeah, but I feel like the adventure started about 37 days before we actually came.
Okay, so we're on 46 according to Joe. I think in reality it's 10. So we're on 10. And we have just left, is it Jalgon?
Something like that, yeah.
Jalgon. Jagola. And it is, I think it's 7 right now. And we are at a petrol station refueling. As you can see here, there's a Hark. This is what a petrol station looks like. That's a beautiful sunrise. And yeah, we're gonna gun it for Udapore. It's about 600 kilometers. I don't think we'll make it, but we're not. If we really go for it, I think we can be really close, which then sets us up really well for Mount Abu the next day. So yeah, I'll let you know what happens. Laters. It is roughly 6 a.m. Yeah, 6. I am with Alex and James outside, just fixing any issues that we have right now. which at the moment the Caribbean has a tiny problem. It sounds terrible. It sounds like it has a bit of a cold. We're waiting on Joe and John. and then we'll be heading off to EP4. And then after that, we're pretty much going to Mount Abu, see some magic carpets and a golden lamp. Yeah! Oh, there's a John. No. Got ya. Thus, we are currently broken down. The nut curry bean has finally given out, and we're broken down. It's roughly like 8:30, maybe 9. You can see we're getting it towed. We're going to get it towed to a mechanic, hopefully to a town down there. And yeah, we'll figure out what's wrong with it. Laters.
That's what it looks like when we're towing our rickshaw.
I have no idea what time it is, but we're back in Nimuch because the mechanics there couldn't solve it, so we're here. It's a lot more serious than we think. Here's our update with Joe.
Okay, so we thought that we just didn't have any petrol in it, but it turns out actually the entire rickshaw disappeared.
We are still in Nimuch in the hotel. It is almost 4. We have one rickshaw repaired, and the other one is hopefully going to be repaired in an hour. Jojo's taking a nap, so is James. John's taking a poo. Alex, we don't know where he is. But the plan is, we get the rickshaw around 5, half 5, come back to the hotel, load up, head out, and just gun it as far as we can until we can't anymore. How's it going? As you see, I got my glasses because we're potentially driving at night. Now, I know what you're thinking. Driving at night is pretty mental. And I've got James here. So basically what's happened is the rickshaw is apparently fixed, and it's like 9 o'clock. So, and we've literally we want to be there on the 26th so we can sleep and like be really fresh for the party, and you know, just be there with everyone, you know, and share the experience that we just had. And so we decided a great way to end this rickshaw would be to drive to Jaisalmer from Nimuch, starting in the dark. Yeah. So, as you can see from James's face, the pure excitement. I'm actually pretty psyched, but I'm really nervous. Yeah. What are you feeling?
I mean, well, at this point we still don't know if the rickshaw's fixed, but if it is, and we're going to go ahead with driving in the dark, then I just hope the roads are good, man. That's our main concern. But I'm excited.
I mean, should be fine. The more desert we go, the more hot it will be. So less floods, maybe. But yeah, we'll see. At this point in time, it's an adventure.
Let's rewind a bit there. As I said, Joe, John and Alex had just left to retrieve the rickshaw. But you're probably wondering, why did the hotel staff go with them? Why did it take so long? Well, this is where I hand you off to Joe, where he explains his unique story on the events that occurred that day.
The following morning, the team remained mostly at the hotel. It was eerily empty, perhaps due to the off-season. The mechanic had no phone, so it was necessary to travel physically into town to check on the delivery and repairs. Deadline after deadline was pushed back further and further. Our heroes feared that they may need to spend a second night here, as the odds of reaching the finish line in time seemed to dwindle hopelessly thin. Dusk. All 5 men waited in their rooms. A knock at the door. The hotel staff called in on their only guests. There was to be a ceremony performed downstairs, and the Rickshaw boys were invited to participate. Yannick and James were too weary for such frivolities, but John, Alex, and Joe ventured downstairs. A quietly beautiful display of lights and coloured fabrics adorned the previously cold white lobby. A crowd of hotel staff had formed around a central podium where a holy man made preparations to begin the ceremony. Haunting vocalizations, fantastic gestures, and other rituals marked the Ganesh Chaturthi, a festival revering the god Ganesha. There was one man who didn't seem to fit with the hotel staff, dressed more informally than them, but heavily involved in the ceremony. After receiving their bindis and taking part in the festival, the 3 boys introduced themselves and found that this man was the owner of the hotel. He spoke of the nature of the festival and his history with the hotel, and asked our heroes about their trip. When the ceremony wound down, the owner explained that there were many more ceremonies taking place in the town, and that this was just the first day of a festival which would last for more than a week. He offered to give the runners a tour of the town's celebrations. Accepting, the boys climbed into a 4x4 with the owner and his assistant. The ceremonies in the town were similar to the one in the hotel, but louder and with more people. The team endured their now all too familiar celebrity, pushing their way to the front of the crowds to mark their respects. But was it the novelty of these faraway travellers that allowed them to jump the queue, or was it something else? One celebration turned into 2, 2 turned into 3. Growing tired, the boys suggested returning to the hotel. "Why turn back now?" the mysterious owner asked. "Your rickshaw is repaired and ready to be picked up." "That is excellent news," the boys replied, "but how did you know who our mechanic was? In this large town?" "Ah," the man replied, "I know everything that goes on in this town." Reading nothing into this incongruously foreboding assertion, the boys happily climbed into the owner's vehicle and journeyed to the mechanic. Something was very wrong. The mechanic's house was drenched in darkness, only the harsh headlights of the 4x4 offering any respite. The rickshaw stood repaired. The mechanic's friends and family were gone, save for the helpful translator, who stood clutching the mechanic's youngest child in his arms. All 3 faces grave. The relaxed joy of day had rotted into a perfect diorama of discomfort and of fear. A confusing tension coiled around the team, tightening as the hotel owner approached the mechanic and began speaking with him in hushed tones. Unable to understand their language, the boys had no option but to wait. The owner returned some minutes later, an unintelligible gamut of emotions playing across his weathered face. "The rickshaw is repaired, but the mechanic was asking for too much. I've managed to convince him to lower the price." "Thank you. What is the new price?" It was around 100 times higher than what the team had expected based on previous repairs. Still fairly affordable, but certainly a surprise. The situation was complex and tense, and there was no real opportunity for conference. It seemed natural and sensible to agree to this price, and so they paid it. Alex and John were joined by the hotel owner's assistant in the rickshaw. Joe joined the owner in the 4x4 as they drove back to the hotel. After a few minutes of tense silence, Joe spoke. "Thanks for speaking with the mechanic."
"It is no problem. It wasn't in doubt that he would offer a fair price for me."
"Oh, why's that?" because this man knows that if he defies me, I will kill him. Reflexively, Joe laughed. He turned to look at the hotel owner. His stony face offered no suggestion that he was being anything except sincere. Joe's smile faded. Oh. His gaze snapped forward to the rest of the team, their blood-red brake lights the only glimmers cutting obliviously through the heavy darkness.
When the guys returned, they told James and Yannick everything. Fear was in the air, and a decision had to be made. Just as they were about to act, there was a knock at the door. To be continued.